Greetings, everyone. I hope you're fine. I hope you are doing well. I'm Olani Moloi, and I would like to say thank you very much for taking your precious time to watch this video. In this channel, we talk about history. We talk about many things that are happening in our various communities, mostly in the continent of Africa. And we also hold one another accountable. We hold sellouts accountable. And we also celebrate those who are doing what is right. In this video, I just want to talk about Black support. I'm not talking about this because I'm against my people. I'm talking about this because we need to hold one another accountable. So please allow me to use a term Black, because some of you don't consider yourselves a Black, because based on history, you're like, where does this term even come from? But I use Black so that you can understand my context, so that you can understand where I come from. So as Black people, we have a problem when it comes to supporting one another. That is why I'm like, our support is like the waves of an ocean. It's temporary. In other words, we only support one another when it comes to maybe we have to march against something, or maybe we are angry about something, we are fighting against certain laws, certain legislations, and all those things. In most cases, that's the only time when we come together to say, you know what, now we have to fight. We have to fight. But even though we come together, but our togetherness is not always 100%, because we still have this culture of division. We still have this thing of being divided. Even when we come together, sometimes you may find out that it's only 75% of people who came together. Even when it comes to clear things, that when it comes to this one, we have to come together. Sometimes others will always find a reason to say there's no need for us to come together. But at the end of the day, this whole thing will always be against us. So it's important for us to support one another, because sometimes we even, like for an example, fail to support something which is clear, whereby we can tell that, you know what, when it comes to this, we have to come together. And that's the problem. And I just want to say, if we don't support one another when it comes to our daily activities, there's no way we can be empowered as a community. Because in most cases, we only think about us as individuals, but forgetting that the strength will always come from us as a unit, as a community. In other words, if we are not together, if we are not holding each other's hands, it's going to be difficult for you as an individual to become strong, to achieve what you have to achieve. Because in order for someone to become successful, that particular individual needs your support. You can have money, you can have all these things, but you still need the support of your people, where you come from. Irregardless, you can have everything, but you still need support, because support is not always financial. Support sometimes is just to be there. It's just to say, you know what, we are behind you, we support you, without even talking about money. But when it comes to Black people, even when the support is free, it becomes difficult to get it, even if it's free. So we have to change our mindset, because if we don't change our mindset, it's going to affect the upcoming generation. Let me just say, we are an insult to those who fought against injustices, or who fought for freedom. And the reason I say this is because we are not doing anything that they were fighting for. Because they were fighting for togetherness. They were fighting for us to support one another. But instead, we enjoy what we are enjoying currently without even supporting one another. That is why right now we are divided more than ever when it comes to history. If you can look at the history of Black people, right now we are more divided than ever because we don't support one another. Even if the support doesn't require finance, we still don't support one another. For an example, there's a lady, in other words, she's a YouTuber, but I don't want to identify her. And she said something that was very interesting. In other words, she had a dream, or she has a dream of becoming a millionaire or maybe a multimillionaire. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that dream because it's a beautiful dream. It's a good dream. And her channel is not about politics. Her channel is not about like, it's not like my channel whereby maybe people can say we don't want to follow this person because probably he's against certain people, or maybe he's radical, he's like this. No, her channel is just a normal channel. The channel that is empowering Black people, or empowering everyone when it comes to finances, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to a lot of things. And her dream is to become a millionaire, or maybe she's close to being a multimillionaire or a millionaire. But you know what happened? After she said that, the number of views in her channel dropped drastically, because she started saying this about like few years ago, and the number of the viewers in her channel dropped. Some people might say it's the system. No, it's not the system. It's us. That is why I'm like, don't say it. And it's painful that when it comes to Black people, you cannot celebrate with them. You cannot tell them your plans. The moment she said, I want to be here, or I'm about to become this, the number of the views dropped drastically. Her channel is not like my channel. It's not like, for an example, controversial. It's straightforward. And I can guess that she has lost a number of views from Black people. In other words, they're like, no, we cannot help you to become a multimillionaire. We cannot help you to become a millionaire. Because that's the mindset that we have. That's the mindset that we have. For an example, if someone from China or a Chinese can say, I want to become a millionaire, I want to become a multi-millionaire, I want to become a billionaire, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that to us. We'll continue supporting that person to become a billionaire, to become a multi-millionaire. That is why most of the people, the moment they become rich, the moment they start getting money, they move out of our communities. It's because they know that sometimes we can become jealous of one another. Every day when we wake up, we want to gossip about others. How do they make money? Yes, I understand that there are many people out there who make money through other things that are not good, that are not safe for the community. But there are many people again who make money or who become successful in their careers by not hurting anyone. Yet we still fail to support those people. Because as I'm talking about this lady, she was not, like, for an example, expecting maybe money from the people just to view her channel, to view her videos, because she was doing very well. She was coming because what she teaches on her channel, you can tell that it's worth a lot of money, not just a lot of money, but a lot of views as well. But she's no longer getting those views. Some people might say the algorithm has changed and something like that, but when I look at other channels, in other words, her competitors, and she's even better, far better than her competitors, but they're getting support from their people. But when it comes to us, it's completely different. It's completely different. That is why it's important for us to hold one another accountable. That is why in this channel, I don't want to talk about like justice for this, justice for that all the time. I want us to talk. I want us to like change our mindset, how we think. Because unless we change how we think, we'll always be jealous of one another. We'll always excel when it comes to pulling down our brothers and sisters. And it should not be like that. It should not be like that. So this story also reminds me of another gentleman. So this another gentleman was working in a factory. They were manufacturing paint. The paint that you buy from maybe the supermarkets and etc. So he was working in that particular factory. So they were like manufacturing paint from the scratch. So he was working in that company, or he was working in a certain company. And this man used to steal paint from his company, and he would sell the paint in our community, and people would buy paint at a cheaper price because he would steal it. And that's wrong. I would like to make it clear that's wrong. So he ended up having a lot of customers in our communities because he was selling paint at a cheaper price. Because if you steal something, you don't think about the cost of like making that particular product. You just sell it anyhow, as long as you get money, because you didn't like do a lot of effort. You didn't like make any effort to create that product, and that product doesn't belong to you. So it's easy for you to make money because you're not losing anything. So he ended up like getting a lot of customers in our community. But here's the thing: the moment they realized that he was succeeding through this business, bear in mind, it was wrong. But the moment they realized that he was now succeeding, one of his customers, an elderly man, a man that I respected in my community, he was one of the customers of this guy, knowing very well that this guy was selling a stolen paint. He woke up the other day and went straight to that factory with evidence. And he reported that man. Bear in mind, he was also a customer. He was also a customer. So what triggered him? What made him to wake up in the morning the other day to go and report him to his bosses, to his company? Is it because of loyalty, faithfulness? Because he cared about this man? He was against theft? He was against corruption? Absolutely not. He reported him because he realized that this man, through this crook business, he was now succeeding financially. Not because he was against corruption. This is us, black people. In other words, from the beginning, he shouldn't have supported that man. From the beginning, he shouldn't have bought any paint from this man. If he cared about loyalty, if he would have cared about like being an accountable person, like for an example, you are against corruption, you are against theft, you are against stealing, he shouldn't have supported this man. But all these years, he supported this man. But the moment he realized that now this man was becoming financially free, he went to his company, he reported him, and that man was fired. That's us. Keep it in mind. That was wrong. But this gentleman contributed in that wrong by buying stolen properties. But because he saw his fellow man climbing the ladder of finance, then he decided otherwise. That's us. In most cases, when we expose certain things in life, we expose them not because we are accountable or we are against theft, we are against corruption. Sometimes we expose them because of jealousy. In most cases, we expose them because of jealousy. We are against that particular person. All along, we can be quiet. But as soon as we see this person succeeding financially, then we want to expose that person. We want to expose that person. And the main problem here is that in whatever action that we do, we are not led by love. We are not led by the fact that we are against corruption. We want to build our community. Most cases, we are led by jealousy. If you are a so-called black person or a black person, you have to change your mindset to your fellow brothers and sisters. If you have to hold them accountable with love. If you have to support them genuinely so. Thank you very much for taking this opportunity to watch this video. If you like this type of content, you can just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, so that the YouTube algorithm may not forget you. Thank you very much.